Okay. Um, good afternoon, good early evening. Wow, it is Monday, July, what the heck is it? July 13th. Oh my goodness, we are halfway through the first month of the second half of 2020. And it has been an incredible year, I am sure, for all of us. So today we decided to do our live a little bit later in the day, hoping to accommodate different people's schedules. And so I'm wearing a different shirt. This is the more casual shirt. Honestly, it's casual because where I am in Las Vegas, it is hot. I mean, we're talking like seriously hot. Here, I'm going to just show you how hot it is here. Just a second. I'm going to pull up my phone. I know this has nothing to do with our content today, but check this out. It's hot. This is where I live. See if you can see that. Oops. It is 109 degrees right now, and it's going to basically be there all week. I'm at my home studio, and I just set the air upstairs. We have two air conditioner units. One's upstairs, one's downstairs. I just set the one upstairs to 87 degrees because it just keeps running and running and running, and I don't want to burn it out. And downstairs, I've set it for upstairs 87, downstairs 81 degrees. So I'm downstairs, thank goodness. I have a fan above me, so I'm not like completely sweating, but man, it is hot. Woo! All right. So welcome to Monday, July 13th. We've got some great content for you today if you are in business. So before we get started, let me bring on my co-host, Ronan Rahman. Come on, baby. There you are.
Hey, Brian.
Hi.
Good after lunch.
Well after lunch. Yeah, well.
All right, so today is market to message madness. Or match, right?
Or match. Yeah, I mean, close.
Yeah. But today is like our most foundational, so it's one of my favorite topics because it is so foundational. It is the core of everything that we do. If you don't get this right, there's almost nothing else you're going to do that's going to matter, right? So
right.
Just a reminder to everybody that we are live. So please leave comments down below, questions down below. We love to engage. Even if you're watching this in a rebroadcast, it's fine. We circle back and we'll answer any questions that you have. So please do that. I'll leave this gentle reminder to crawl across the bottom of your screen. And with that, Brian, I'm gonna remand custody of this meeting to you.
Awesome. Okay. So market to message match. Honestly, this is as Ronan said, the foundation. When you get this right and dialed in perfectly, everything that you do, from an appointment setting, marketing, social media, email, direct mail, it doesn't really matter. Everything else falls into place. So we like to start Mondays off with this topic with market to message match formula. Here's how it works. And write things down, take screenshots. I'm going to be sharing my screen here in just a moment. Your market, very simply, are the people that you want to have a conversation with. So when you think of your market, I want you to think about the people that you want to have a conversation with, literally, whether that conversation is through Zoom, whether that conversation is at a networking event, whether that conversation is on the phone, okay, wherever that conversation happens to be, that's your market. Your message is what is going to motivate the people, your market, to want to have that conversation with you. And I cannot stress enough how important this is and how many of the people, the business owners especially, that we meet with, they just don't have this right. And so when you get this right, everything else falls into place. And I'm going to give you a formula here in just a few moments to help get you set on the right path to match your market and your message so that the people that you want to have a conversation with will actually have that conversation with you. So I'm going to share my screen. And I didn't set this up in advance, so just give me one quick second here. All right. I think I just did it. All right, here we go. All right, market to message match. So I'm going to extract a little bit out of a presentation that we do regularly called Guaranteed Sales Appointments. We will be hosting our next live Guaranteed Sales Appointments this month. If you want to be on the waiting list for that or get information about that, simply fill out your information at the URL guaranteedappointmentslive.com. I'm sure Ronan is publishing that for you, guaranteedappointmentslive.com. And we will be doing that event here locally in Las Vegas, as well as streaming it live around the world. So market the message match. Here's the formula. I'll leave this on the screen long enough for you to take a screenshot or a photograph of it. This is how we craft our market to message match copy. And this copy is paramount to the success of our marketing, our communication, and it will be for you. So here's how it works. Start at the top. We're going to go from a kind of a top-down perspective. So at the top, I want you to write down the name of the industry that you do business in. It could be an industry, could be something like healthcare, or it could be technology, or it could be marketing like ours, or it could be, I don't know, travel or entertainment, right? Those are industries, things that have multiple components, multiple subsets to them. So first, I want you to write down, for right now, one industry. I just hit my microphone. One industry that you do business in. And maybe you only do business in one industry, which is great. All right, next, write down a market segment within that same industry. For example, industries will have hundreds, thousands, even tens of thousands of market segments. So if we go back and look at healthcare, there's probably tens of thousands of market segments within healthcare. You've got massage, you've got acupuncture, you've got pediatricians, you've got surgeons, you've got weight loss, you've got nutritional supplements. You've got all kinds of market segments within the one industry of healthcare. So whatever industry that you do business in, pick for now one market segment. Now, I get it. You might do business in multiple market segments. For today's exercise, just pick one. You can always go back and pick another one. All right, next, I want you to think about the person, the individual that you would like to have a conversation with within the market segment that you chose. So let's say, for example, I chose healthcare and I chose massage. And I want to speak with the owner of a massage therapy business. So my ideal prospect would be owner, right? Now, as a different example, if I chose healthcare and I chose, let's say, pediatrics, my ideal prospect or my person that I want to speak to might be the office manager, or it might be the practice manager. So when you think of your ideal prospect within your market segment, I want you to think about the actual person you want to have a conversation with who makes the most sense for you to talk about whatever business you're in. Now, I'm using healthcare as the example. I don't even work in healthcare, honestly. I'm just using that as a hypothetical example. So whatever example that you have or whatever real market segment and industry that you have, write that down. Who is it within that market segment that you want to have that conversation with? And maybe there's more than one possibility. You might want to have a conversation with an owner. You might want to have a conversation with a finance person. You might want to have a conversation with a manager of some kind. You can write multiple people down. The fourth part of this formula is really the distinguishing factor, and that is, what is it that you solve for that person specifically? What pain do you eliminate or alleviate? What frustration do you minimize? What benefit do you provide to that individual person? And I want you to think about this at a very human level. Okay, this is not just about business, right? Yes, we're all in business. If you're listening to this, you should be in business. But at the end of the day, isn't it about that personal, human, emotional part that is going to resonate with the people that you want to do business with? I can tell you that it is. So, and what we want as people is we either want to A, eliminate pain, or B, enhance our pleasure. So when you think about this reason/pain point, what I want you to think about is, what do you do? What does your product do? What does your service do specifically to solve those problems, to create those solutions? And I want you to define it in that way. Let me show you an example. I'm going to kind of go a little bit. I'm going to riff a little bit, as Ronan says. Hold on. And I'm going to pull up how this manifests in real life. So just give me a second here. We're live, so pardon the delay. But what I want you to understand is, by following a formula, okay, this is not working. This is not the browser that I want. These are not the droids you're looking for. Hold on. I know how to do this. Just a second. All right. And Ronan, you will tell me if you're not seeing my LinkedIn profile. I hope you are. All right. So I'm going to show you my LinkedIn profile here. We do a lot of outreach via LinkedIn. And the way that this market to message match manifests itself in the quote unquote real world, if LinkedIn's the real world, is on your profile with your headline. So my headline is guaranteed appointments for CPAs, agencies, and B2B consultants seeking high net worth clients. So what I've done here is I've called out what I do, guaranteed appointments. I've called out who I do it for, CPAs, agencies, and B2B consultants. And I've called out their pain point. They want to meet with high net worth clients. That's their challenge. That's the problem that I can solve for them, is guaranteed appointments with those specific people. So when it comes to whatever it is that you do, you really need to call out what you do, for who, and what do you solve for them? What problem do you solve for them that they want a solution for? And when you do this, all of your marketing, all of your communication, all of your outreach just comes together in a very magical way. And just by doing this one thing, we have seen our clients, we have seen ourselves attract very well qualified new business opportunities, new relationship opportunities that we never would have had. So this market to message match formula, which we kick off every Monday with, is really, really important for you. And we hope that you'll invest hours, weeks of time really honing in on it. One thing that we oftentimes will do is we will write our market to message match statement, our market to message match headlines, and we will show them to our perfect fit clients and ask them for feedback. Hey, does this resonate with you? Hey, do you get this? Does this mean something to you? And depending on that feedback, we will either make modifications to it, or maybe we don't. But feel free to reach out and get feedback on this, because that could be the best information that you get in your business, because everything that you do moving forward is going to be based on this market to message match formula. And that's kind of what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that this was meaningful And I'm going to bring Ronan back on because he always has
Hey,
additional things to. There he is. Hold on.
I do. It's like totally in my nature to have an opinion about something. And
Yes, it is.
But I don't know that I really have a lot to add, just because you really brought a lot in. And I do want to emphasize one thing. Everybody gets stuck on, it's too narrow. It's I do more things. What I'm losing market share or whatever. It's not forever. It's just for a season. It's just for a period of time to run a campaign, and then you move on to the next thing. So it probably, when I learned this, it was the hardest thing for me to do, because I felt like I was going to lose business. What I didn't realize is that I was losing business because I wasn't specific.
Right.
And I wasn't laser focused, even for a period of time. So I think that's brilliant. And I hope people take on creating that headline in that way, and it'll make a difference.
It absolutely will. I mean, it has actually never failed us. So, and like Ronan said, you can change your headline. You can change your statement. You don't need to change your entire business just because you change your headline, right? You can still serve and do the same thing that you do for a CPA that you do for an IT solution provider, right? But when you're running a campaign, speaking to a specific person, you want them to feel like they're connected with you.
Mm-hmm.
And so call them out in your headline, call them out in your messaging. And that's what Ronan's talking about here is you can run a campaign for a specified period of time and then shift it a bit. It doesn't mean that one day you're selling, I don't know, herbal remedies to something, and then the next day you're selling IT solutions. That's not what we're talking about. Stay in your lane, do what you do best, but market it to different kinds of people in a campaign style, is what we're saying.
Yeah, because whatever you do can solve a different problem for a different demographic.
That's right.
Right. So in one campaign, you're not switching what you do, you're switching the pain point and who you're targeting. And then once you're done with that, then you have other people in a different segment that have a similar, maybe not exact pain point. You can speak to that. And when I read a headline that speaks to me, I want to speak to that person. It's almost like it's a one-on-one connection.
You gave me a thought when you were talking here, Ronan. So I'll give you a real example. So some of our clients have a real challenge with picking up the phone and talking to somebody that they don't know. They get really worked up about that. Mm-hmm. Like it makes them nervous. It causes anxiety. So if they don't have somebody that's booked on their calendar, they really don't feel good about or comfortable with having that conversation. On the other hand, we have other clients who are very comfortable with doing that, but they don't have any time. Like they lack the time to do that kind of work. And so when we reach out to those kinds of people, we hone in on, hey, we can save you time. You don't have to do this work. We'll do it for you. On the other hand, when we reach out to people who have that anxiety or fear about picking up that phone and making that initial connection themselves, we hone in on that concern. Mm-hmm. It's the same service. We're just solving a different problem for person B versus person A. So that's the point.
Yeah, that's brilliant. So tomorrow we are going to talk about the 3-point power profile.
Cool.
And that's the next level. Once you get your headline, then that's the next step in the process is to, it's sort of like once you've picked out your suit, now it's time to put it on. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow.
And we'll be on tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. So if you'd like to take this to the next level, learn what you can do to, put on that fancy social media suit, we'll be here at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow for you. And I hope to see you then.
Awesome. See you then. Take care, everybody.